Hi. I know everybody knows Stella May. But look, I just want to, I wish my son a happy birthday earlier, but I want to come publicly and wish him a happy birthday on today because this birthday was a birthday to me different from any other birthday because 5 days ago, my son was a patient in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, in the hospital, UNC Chapel Hill, being diagnosed again with aplastic anemia, the disease that he was diagnosed with 10 years ago. They came then to take his life, that he was at death's door 10 years ago. But I thank God that during those times that he was in the hospital, the hard process that he went through, and it was a hard recovery process for him. He suffered some things, but then they say in the Bible that Christ learned obedience through the things that he suffered, but he became obedient to what God was telling him. And he did what God told him to do. And he and his wife began to follow the instructions that God gave them to follow. And he led him to natural healing. So God healed him from that disease. And I thank God when the doctor said he would not be here. The doctor said 18 months, but God said not so. He said not so then, and he said not so this time because my son still 5 days ago went into West Harnett County Hospital with no blood in his body. The doctor said if he would have laid down and went to sleep that night, he probably wouldn't have woke up. So he had 3% or less blood in his body. And they immediately sent him to Chapel Hill for blood transfusion. And he was diagnosed with, again, they said that disease had came back. They told him that he was going to have to go through the treatment again, chemotherapy. They was going to put him in treatment. They were going to treat him for 6 days in this hospital. But I thank God that when you belong to God, he said, whose report will you believe? The report of the doctor is real. My son have aplastic anemia, and there is no cure for it. 5 days ago, they was telling my son he should not even be here with no blood in his system, but God. So I thank God when I tell him wish him a happy birthday. I thank God so that he was here because of his grace and his mercy to celebrate another birthday. My son is diagnosed with aplastic anemia. He is God, and I want him to stay in a place, him and his wife, to stay in a place again that they can hear God ordering their steps to the direction he wants them to go and how they want this healing process to take place because God is a healer and he's going to heal my son again. And he say, I'll do it again and again and again. If you believe I can do it, I'll do it simply because you believe that I can. So this birthday, for me to say happy birthday, Antwan, I'm so grateful to God that I'm wishing him a happy birthday instead of standing at his casket. Because according to what they said, he should not be here. But God, he's still here today a second time when the doctor said he would not be. But he's here today. And I am so grateful for these 43 years that he blessed me with my son. I'm expecting, whether I live to see 43 more years or not, my son to be here another 43 years. But I know that God is a healer. He is in this place where right now my son don't have insurance because he cannot work. So the job that he had, when he left that job, he didn't have any insurance. So he don't have no means of getting the things that he need to treat this disease. And he is going to a holistic doctor that they're gonna lead him back to the natural healing process. But that's gonna cost money too. So he don't have no means of no money coming in. His wife is on leave for 2 months, and she was the main source of income for a while after he had to come off of his job. So right now, for her being on FMLA, she don't have no income. So I'm not begging nobody. I'm just asking, if anybody can and they will, to support his GoFundMe page because my son is standing in need. He don't have the money to pay for the things that he need for this healing process, for him to start having the things that God wants him to have. He needs to have the right kind of foods. This is the natural healing process that he's going to have to go through. This is the way God is leading them to go back through the natural healing. Natural healing is real. God created our bodies to heal itself if we put the right things in them. For 10 years, they went that way with the natural healing. For 10 years, this disease was gone from him because of what God gave him and his wife to do. How they fed him, how they nurtured him, the herbs that God gave him, the food that God told him to eat. For 10 years, he was disease free. But the disease came back. But I know that it's not about what it looked like, because God said we are on a faith journey. It's about not what we see. Faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God. And the Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. We walk by his faith, what he said in his word, and not by what we see. I see that Antwan is sick. I see that there is no cure for his disease. That's real. But I know that God is a healer. But he is standing in need right now. The healing is going to take place. But he is standing in a need of a financial blessing. And I'm asking the public, those that see his GoFundMe page, or those that read the text that his brother Bug put out there, that you will respond immediately to this text. Not because they're not asking you to give them anything, for their pleasure. This is for my son. He has a disease, everybody. I want everybody to know that he has a disease that there is no cure. My son is not working, and he do not have insurance. He cannot get the things that he needs for this healing to take place. So I'm asking you, if you will, to give. And I'm going to say this right here, God loves a cheerful giver. When you give him, when God tells you to give and you give, just know that you'll be blessed behind it, because my son is standing in need of a financial blessing. So if you can help him in any kind of way, I'm asking you as his mom, and anybody out there know I'm his mom. They know Stella May. So I'm coming at you, and I'm coming at you real on behalf of my son. I'm putting no mess out here. I'm not putting nothing out here that ain't true. I'm not, saying nothing false about his situation. His situation is real. If this disease flare back up again, I'm not even going to say it. But I want my son. I love my child. My child is standing in need. And I'm asking, I trust God. God did it then. And I'm trusting and believing that God is going to do it today. But I'm just making a plea as a mother to answer the call that's being put out there, to be a blessing to my son and his wife in this time of need for them, because there is a need that needs to be met. And it's a need for his medical situation and everything else that they're in need of right now. They're standing in need, and as their mom, I'm asking you to please to respond to this GoFundMe page, respond to the text that Bug put out there, his brother. We love my son. He's my oldest son. Even if it was my youngest son, even if it was my daughter, I still stand boldly on behalf of them and make this decree out here today to please respond to his text, because he is standing in need of a miracle right now. God is holding the miracle in his hand because he's alive. When the doctor said he should not be, God said he is. It is so. It's not so what the doctor said. And I believe that the prayers of the righteous avails much, because people are praying for Antwan. And we're believing God for him, just like we believed God before. And he's still here. This is a disease that takes you at a young age. His bone marrow don't work. He couldn't even produce his own blood. So that's how serious this is. So it's by the grace of God that he's still here right now. So I'm so grateful to God that I can celebrate my son's birthday today. 43 years. When by in the natural sense, he should not be here. But God. And he's here today to celebrate his birthday with his wife, his children, his mom, his brother and his sister, his friends, those that love him. And we love him. So I love him enough to publicly, I don't do this. I don't even like to be on this camera. I really don't. I don't even like to be on Facebook. But I love him enough to put this plea out here for assistance, for help that he needs. They are standing in need. And I'm asking you, if you will, and if you can and you will, if you give a dime, I thank you. If you give a nickel, I thank you. For whatever God lay on your heart to do concerning this situation. God said your blessings is going to be in what you give, in your giving. in your giving, not what you give or how much you give, but your blessing is in your giving. So I'm just asking you to be a blessing to my son and his wife, if you will. Thank you. I love you. God bless you. And happy birthday, Antwan.